Live action issues for Russell Brand, virtual issues for Tom Hanks, and birthday wishes on the way. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and this is Things You Might Not Have Heard. We'll present for you in just a few minutes the best in yesterday's information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. And it's the best because you told us it's the best. You help us pick out the stories for your go-to supplemental source for both mainstream and unconventional news. That's the brand we have here. Things you may have missed in the main new coverage and things that you may have gotten, but we'll give you a little extra perspective, a different sort of take from conversations I've had with folks like you around the world. And you pick the stories literally by following us in the feeds. We'll get to that in a bit. Right now, I want to remind you that we have a website at thisisaconversationproject.com. Everyone has a website. Our website helps us tell you about what we do every single day for the Conversation Project, including this show here, weekend shows, and all over the internets where we exist. So check that out when you get a chance to understand what we do as a larger package. Right now, let's get into the news stories for this day. This day happens to be Tuesday, October the 3rd, 2023, and we have 8 headlines to get to you. So give us about 12 minutes, and then we'll get to a little bit of sales stuff, and then the fun stuff, second show, is coming. Guaranteed. Let's get into story number headline, or story number one, however you want to read that one. It reads like this. This is the most important story out there, so this is the one that we're leading with. Charlotte Sena, 9-year-old girl feared to have been abducted, found alive, but suspect in custody. Late last evening, Charlotte Sena, who went missing during a bike ride while camping over the weekend, was found. The investigators were able to track down the suspect through fingerprints left on a ransom note. Yes, it went that far. Volunteers searched the woodlands near Morrow Lake State Park, where she was, all day Monday after a woman went missing. State police found her in a trailer next to a house in Milton where one of the suspect's relatives lives. Police searched vehicles near Morrow Lake Park on Monday also to find what they could about this situation. Now, we're going to find more details about this as things go forward. Last night, it was a lot of jubilation, a lot of happiness going on. And what we're seeing in the reporting here, it was a lot of just sort of scattered stuff until they basically know that they found Charlotte Sena. This will be a very well-developed story in the next day or so we'll have more details on how it works out. We're just glad the young lady has been found and is safe. Now let's get to the virtual issue, starting off with Tom Hanks, who warns fans about an AI version of him promoting a dental plan. There is an AI Tom Hanks. There's a virtual reality Tom Hanks. There's a deep fake of Tom Hanks out there selling dental plans, out there promoting a dental insurance plan to the people who may think, hey, Tom Hanks has got this. He has great teeth. I should listen. Here's the thing about endorsements. Endorsements are made by people who are more likely paid to do things and paid to say that things and paid to say they love stuff. And in this new AI generated world that the actors are still trying to fight to make sure nothing happens, AI actors who look very, very real and very convincing, deep fakes are what we're calling them in dealing with political world, but they will not be deep fakes when they're actually doing the scenes on TV or out there selling stuff for the people. Tom Hanks is warning you that this video, this image of him out there is not him. The voice out there is not him. It's some person stealing that. This is going to be a bigger deal coming forward when they start taking people's likenesses just at random, putting them on faces and avatars and start selling those like that. That's going to go bonkers. Right now, it really is just basically deep fakes and famous folks that people are going to notice. And while we're noticing, we're also going to notice just how bad it's going to get fairly soon. McDonald's, Wendy's defeat lawsuit over their burgers. Big deal for this story right here. We've talked about in the last couple of weeks how people are suing Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's, various burger places, various fast food joints for essentially putting up a picture on an ad and then serving you something that doesn't look like the ad. McDonald's and Wendy's have found a way to beat out one lawsuit in Brooklyn over the weekend. This lawsuit where it said that McDonald's and Wendy's, quote, use virtually appealing images to foster positive association with their products, and their websites provided prominent, objective information about the burger's weight and calorie content, and they weren't there. Judge found no proof that the fast food chains delivered smaller burgers than advertised, we'll put it like that, and that the plaintiff had even seen any ad out there. Basically, he just used the fact that all these people fake their ads, so the guy suing, a serial lawsuit guy, just used that as a claim to go with it. Those suits have been thrown out in Brooklyn. Few Americans say conservatives can speak freely on college campuses. This is from a survey, the survey by AP-NORC, University of Chicago, a poll putting out on this one. And this is something that has a little bit more weight to it than you may think. Now, we have seen plenty of conservative commentators go on college campuses and have pictures of them being screamed at by folks and being chased off campus as a safe space. This happens. This happens on both ends, if you will, but this happens a lot in the media world right here, because for those conservative commentators, people being angry at them and showing other people that they want to be angry, that other people are angry at them, is good PR. So that works out. Problem is, there really is a speech issue where college is supposed to be a place of liberal thought, and a lot of places or people saying or college, not so much liberal thought. College is a place of open thought. Let's say open thought. And people who tend to lean conservative tend to get a little less play on that. One issue is people leave conservatives tend to be a bit more of the, my words, of the opposing and sort of the evil, and this is all bad, bad, bad stuff, and not really looking for open debate, but really looking to just dominate the discussion. That tends to be the case these days for the air quotes conservatives. That's probably why they don't feel like they can say so much on campus, because they're drowned out by free-thinking liberals, or more air quotes if you're watching the video, who just want to be left alone. Actually, the free-thinking liberals want to take over conversation too. It's really they're both bought under sort of the same brands, but it is an issue on college campuses where the freedom of speech does seem to be a bit of an issue, seemingly more for conservatives, at least in their mind, than others. Russell Brand facing probe for second police force into claims of harassment and stalking. Poorly read, but the deal is a second batch of people are looking into harassment and stalking charges for Russell Brand. A woman has accused Brand of being a sexual predator and has contacted police with new information regarding the harassment and stalking allegations. Brand has been accused so far of rape, sexual assault, and abuse by 4 women, including one who was 16 at the time. We will see how this one continues to play out, as Russell Brand on one end being canceled and another end being celebrated as a person for his free speech, even though these things apparently did happen. We're going to play this one out in real time and see how this one is for all of us. We've talked about a lot of celebrity divorces, and we're going to add this one to that list, as Jodie Turner-Smith filing for divorce from Joshua Jackson after 4 years of marriage. Turner-Smith and Jackson met at Usher's 40th birthday party in 2018. They have been 2, 3, and have had a 2-3 year one-night stand, as they write it there. I didn't write that. The robot editor pulled that out from someplace. But they've been married for 4 years, and officially married for 4 years. And what we're seeing right now is Turner-Smith is pulling the plug on the union. We're going to see how this thing plays out as well. We add them to the list in the very large growing list, and it's October. We still have 90-ish days to have people break up. Hopefully, a few more will get together and we'll have great things. Hopefully, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will last the 90 days, and we can go out of the year with that great thing going forward, or that weird thing, however you're looking at that one. But this is another one added to the pile of divorces, of breakups through the years, that being Joshua Jackson and his wife, Jodie Turner-Smith. GM is furloughing another 160 workers to the UAW strike. GM is having to lay off more workers. GM and Ford together laying off 500 workers at 4 Midwestern plants because of United Auto Workers strike, which is in its 18th day. 18th day. It's not even been a month. It's barely been 2 weeks. Right at 3, and so far we're seeing more workers not working because the strike is going on, and more workers furloughed or laid off officially because work can't get done. We'll see what's happening. Right now, there really isn't great negotiation from all standpoints. They're just sort of sitting there and staring at each other and just not really doing very much. We'll see how this plays out going forward. Obviously, as we need cars, we need people working, we need a lot of things going on in the economy. And Paris Hilton inks a deal for content and commerce with Elon Musk's X/Twitter, and will host videos featuring live shopping. Paris Hilton is going to X to make a virtual live shopping network and bring eyeballs to the platform. Now, if you're a person who actually uses it extensively, and we use it extensively for the feeds, we'll explain that in a minute, about getting people engagement and seeing how they're doing, what to talk about, you may have seen some serious drops in your feeds lately. And part of that is Elon Musk and his battle against the bots, which is a good thing. And part of it is Elon Musk and various changes to how algorithms work, so people don't see as much stuff without paying for things, which is not a great thing. And some people who are paying for things, this guy included, are not seeing the return on the investment because they're buying into the payment part to see if they can get extra looks. And it doesn't seem like we're not. They're going to bring it in by paying Paris Hilton a lot of money to be on the Twitter, be on the X, and see if they come and watch her. We shall see if they come and watch her and buy stuff from Miss Hilton. In our apologies, errors, and omissions today, one thing we did not talk about that we really have to address is Donald Trump. He's under indictment, has 4 major federal indictments right now, and he showed up yesterday for essentially what is the People's Court, essentially for Judge Wapner. Donald Trump says he will be in a courtroom for the New York trial, scrutinize his business, was the headline we posted from Sunday into Monday, and all the headlines that posted yesterday that took over most of the news was Donald Trump sitting in court, looking grumpy, saying witch hunt, witch hunt, witch hunt, doing stuff like that. He says he'll probably be back tomorrow. His schedule is sort of weird because, he is running for president, and he does have 4 other indictments that are on the large scale to deal with, federal and state. But this one is a smaller deal that's essentially handled, and as before we can tell, handled very poorly by his lawyers. But because this is more or less the ego thing, this is them saying, no, you're not a billionaire, no, you're not good at business. This is the one he's showing up for big time, or whatever you want to call big time. We will see this one play out literally in court for the next month or so. Our teaser story for this morning is where we explain how the feeds work, and bear with me, a little low energy going for the day, but that's happening. But what we do every single weekday here on the Conversation Project is we give you stories. We give you 10 on Monday and 8 on the rest of the week to get you through the week and tell you what's going on as a start to your week or day as it goes along. But you tell us what stories we're talking about by going to Facebook and Twitter. As I complained a moment ago, less views, but go anyway. Go to Facebook and Twitter and look at our feeds where we post every 50 minutes a news story. Facebook, it is This is a Conversation Project. And on Twitter, th_conversation, X, th_conversation. And every 50 minutes, a story pops up. Go through every so often where you're checking your feeds for other things. And like, love, hate, share, and engage in the stories. The higher engagement of a story gets, better chance we have talking about it. As we said, we'll talk about tomorrow 8 stories of the top 15 that you guys say were engaging. There'll be over 30 stories over the course of the 30 or so hours that we have to post in there. Breastfed babies less likely to be overweight children, researchers say. That is the headline we're posting here. This is a story that popped up that I heard on the news radio while I was in the car yesterday, and will scratch my head and said, interesting. And while there's always a sort of a why did they do a study on that, there's a reason why they did a study on this to find out about child obesity and how children are gone. You may not quite get the study, but read the article, go into the news and see what it says and see what you think about it. We want to know what you think about it. Sometimes I have to say the stories aren't so much about you, they're about the us and just the general consensus. What's your general consensus on this if this is not one that affects you directly? Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter and look for this story and other stories that you want to engage in, that you want us to talk about. We're going to talk about RVs this morning. As the temperatures start to get cooler, now is the perfect time to go out camping because it's not hot outside. You can go and do stuff outside. And if you're still a little leery about a tent and laying on the floor, an RV could be the best way to go. Now, whether you want to buy one or rent one or get a pop-up tent, those are just as cool. You can get all the information you need about RVing at I Love RVing. And you can visit that website at thisistheconversationproject.com/RV. Now, most of our links, all of our links are affiliate links, and this seems like a weird one because it seems like it's mostly information, and it is, but there are some places for you to buy gear, buy RVs, buy equipment, buy things like that. So if you actually use this site to go to another site, we get a bit of a commission for you here. In the meantime, we want you to go camping. I'm going on a camping trip in cabins in about 2 weeks, so we won't be doing this stuff for a bit of short hiatus. But because I love it and haven't been gone in a while, and the folks that have invited me, we're going to go in and have a great time. You have a great time in your adventure outdoors with the RV, and find out more information about RVing at This is a conversationproject.com/RV for I Heart RV. Conversation Project lives at this is a conversationproject.com online, our home, where you can find out more details about what we do to produce the Conversation Projects, things you might have heard, also weekly wrap up, story of the week, and the videos we do all day, all the time, to give you news insights on what's going on, like the actual news, and some quick a little extra conversation things, things like you'll hear in a moment in the more things you might have heard, things, tips, stories, various weird type of stats, things like that we give to you, so you're in the know and have things to talk about. If you like what we're doing, follow us in the feeds and tell us to do more of it. If you like what we're doing, go to our email address and email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com and tell us to do more of it. If you like what we're doing, go to our partnerships page and help us do more of it. We're asking for your help to produce more great stuff for the masses and you in particular. So check it out at our website, the partnerships page, and just check out all the details, all the stuff we have for the Conversation Project at the website. The fun stuff, the good stuff, the second show, we promise it every single day, a way to kind of put a smile on your face and wrap this thing up in a great way. The fun stuff begins now. And the fun stuff begins every single weekday morning with birthdays, and October the 3rd, no exception. Tommy Lee, we're going old school, we're going drama, we're going classic. Tommy Lee of Motley Crue, 61 years old today. He probably wishes he was 46, so they have a few more years to maybe fix a couple things or redo it all over again. Probably redo it all over again, to be honest. Tommy Lee turning 61 years old on the day. Nev Campbell hitting 5-0 in the Big 50. Got famous from Party of Five and then did a whole lot of things since then. Still doing great acting and great roles. She, of course, played a role in the recent streaming series Twisted Metal with Anthony Mackie and folks like that, and a second season of that coming up fairly soon. We'll see when the writers and actors get back on that one. That was an interesting twist on that story. We'd love to see what happens on that one, and all the stuff she's also doing, a lot of Lifetime-ish stuff. She's 50 years old on the day. Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie, she is Adonis's Creed's wife, and just badass, is 40 years old on the day as well. In the rambling stage, so we're going to keep on talking, so I don't ramble about Tessa Thompson. Another future ex-wife, if we get that far down the line, of course. Our history lesson for today, we're going to start off in 1789 for this 3rd of October, where the first Thanksgiving was proclaimed by George Washington in 1789. Sounds great. In 1863, Thanksgiving Day was declared as the 4th Thursday in November by President Abraham Lincoln, so it moved from October to November per this day, per Lincoln. There you go, 1863. 1995, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty of the murders of his ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ronald Goldman. An estimated 107 million people watched TV news coverage of the verdict. Simpson was later found liable in a civil trial. Now, that really does not go with the happiness that was Thanksgiving, and so I take all the blame for that, but it was a pretty big cultural significant point of the day. All three of these were. One of these things, obviously not like the others. One of these things is so not the same that we are still living in the shame of it 30 years later. Let's celebrate to get off of that one. But today is still a great day. It's the greatest day ever. It's Mean Girl Appreciation Day. What is Mean Girl Appreciation Day? Well, if you follow the lore that is Mean Girls, the vehicle starring Lindsay Lohan and a young Charvet, now I can't say her name, she was Party of Five as well, and now she's in all the Hallmark movies. Lacey Charvet, and let me get out of this. Mean Girls is on October 3rd every year, and October 3rd is from the immortal scene in which Aaron asks Caddy what day it is, and she answers October 3rd, and thus October 3rd will always be known as Mean Girl Day. Now, October 3rd was basically a mundane and just the day. It was October 3rd, but for some reason, in her mind, it was played out as the greatest, most glorious day because Aaron asked Katie what the day was, and she gave the answer. And Mean Girls Appreciation Day, because October 3rd is the most glorious day ever, is it. Go out there and watch the movie or read some stuff. Show your kids Mean Girls. It's been a while. It is a classic, and Lindsay Lohan could probably use a couple of residuals if you watch it on streaming. So check that out as well today. And finally, one more thing you might not have heard. How do you know your man loves you? Because he'll watch or go to a movie that he has no interest in seeing, starring an actor he can't stand, just to make you happy. 2/3 of guys have done this. Only 2/3. The other third are idiots. 27% of men have seen a concert starring the act they can't stand. 60% of women admit to making their man go to events they don't want to go to. 40% of men have made their lady do this. So tables can be turned, but not quite as well as for the ladies. With this, we are done for today. I am Jay Cleveland Payne giving you the wrap up for things you might have heard for Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. Thank you for being a part of the show. Follow us in the feeds for all the ways to tell us what to talk about, which is pretty much just telling us what to talk about. Make sure you're staying limber and hydrated on task, and be good. Enjoy this glorious October 3rd. It is Mean Girls Day, and don't be mean, but watch Mean Girls. In the meantime, we'll be back tomorrow with more stories. We're posting stories every 50 minutes on our feed, so check it out, and you will see what stories we talk about tomorrow, because you will tell us what stories we'll talk about tomorrow on things you might not have heard.